Hello everyone, welcome to the Azure Developer Community AZ Certification Series. Today we are back here again with our expert speaker. This is the day one of Microsoft Azure Certification Series, where we have started some couple of fundamental certification, and with our help, with the help of our expert industry speakers, we are helping you all to upscale your journey with the cloud and just get certified with on the Microsoft Azure. So today this is all about the Microsoft Fundamentals, that is AZ900 Bootcamp, and we have our expert speaker Mr. Dilip Pai sir is here, who is going to give you an who will be having who will be giving you a quick overview about what is cloud. And this journey is of 5 days, and I hope you will be getting something really great about the cloud and cloud insights from Dilip sir. Over to you, Dilip sir.
Um, yeah, hi. Can you hear me, guys? Um, just a second. Um,
So over to you, sir.
yeah. You can hear me. I'm in. Uh, yes. So I think Ranjita has commented. Okay. So if you can hear me, just drop in a comment. Okay. My yeah. Perfect. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Hi all. I'm Dilip. As Lakshit mentioned, and I have around probably 4 years of industry experience now into Microsoft technologies, and I'm basically from Bangalore. Um, so I have been certified Microsoft trainer for 2 years now. Um, yeah, so it's going to be a very exciting session for 5 days, and I'm sure that you guys will not be bored. So we'll try to make it interactive in the comments or anything, right? So let's get started. Yeah. Yep. So Um, yep. So I'll be sharing my screen. Just let me know that if you can see the screen. Yeah. Okay. Can you see my screen? Can anyone just type in? Mm, yep. Perfect. So my screen is visible now. I'll just okay. So what is this AZ900 course? So just let me just get started with it. So probably when you are so cloud is a very vast thing, right? So you might be hearing now in this recent terms like cloud and cloud. So basically you might get confused, right? What's this cloud and what are the various types of providers, what are there in cloud? Yeah. So for someone who's just getting to start with Azure, right, who wants to get to know probably Microsoft technology is better or Microsoft offering of cloud better, then this is the right platform. So AZ900 is one of the very easiest certifications you can attend, where the question will be just on the overall picture of how the cloud works, what are the services there, and some of the twisted questions, right? This is the scenario, what will you use? So these kind of questions you get it generally in cloud. Yeah, I mean AZ900 though. So let's see what are the things, what are the learning objective of this. Yeah. So basically here you can the section has been divided into three types. Yeah. So describe cloud concepts, describe Azure architecture and services, describe Azure management and governance. So you'll be hearing Azure in this whole 5 days. Okay. So because it's all Microsoft related and we have to focus on Azure right here. But the first thing what we are going to focus is cloud concept. Before jumping into Azure, right, you need to know what is cloud. Okay, so this is why this first chapter or introduction is there for you guys. Yep. So here are the exam weightages. So this covers around 25 to 30% of the topics. Yeah, I mean the marks at least. um so I have been told that this is mostly for East Point College of Engineering, right? So I think you might be knowing. Yeah, I think if you guys are into the VTU, so you might be knowing how the weightage of the section works. Okay, so similarly here also the weightage is there. Okay, and um, this is the weights of the exam. So first thing is describe cloud concepts. Okay, and the second one is architecture and services, where we'll be seeing most of the services, and we'll be at least having hands on some of the services, at least because this is a 5-day workshop and we need to get a good hands on how the services work. So we'll take some important services and try to do some hands-on. Yeah, and the third one is the Azure management and governance, where the costs and the billing, the things comes up. Okay, so the first chapter is basically describe cloud concept. Yeah, so basically why this cloud concepts picture come into picture. Yeah, um so when we talking about cloud, right, it's a vast ocean, and Azure is just a small, probably a very small portion out of it. You jump into the ocean, you need to know what how to swim, at least, right, before you jump into the ocean. That's why this chapter is describe cloud concept. Yeah, so here you'll be just covering on the major topics like what is cloud, different types of cloud, and so on. Yeah, so this is going to be the thing for today. So let's be a bit slow, not that fast. So if I'm fast, please let me know if you're not able to understand. Also, if you do have any comments, please uh, type in here. Like if you have any doubts, questions, type in there and there so we can address it. Yeah. Um. Yep. So you can see the screen right now. Yep. I'm just sharing another screen. Yep. Hopefully the presentation slide is visible. So please confirm if this is visible for you guys.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, perfect. Yep. So yeah, let's get started now. Yeah. So the first module is basically cloud concepts. So let's get started. So here you'll be, this is the module outline. So where you'll be seeing what is cloud computing, the shared responsibilities, the cloud models, and something called capex and the opex, or capital cost versus operational cost, cloud benefits, and those different types of services. Yeah. Okay. So before cloud computing, right? So you can see cloud, compute, network, and storage here, right? Why these three terms came up into picture. Okay, so let me just give you a very small example. So basically, what is a computer? I mean, when you buy a computer, what three things do you look for? Yeah, so I think the answer is here itself. So whenever probably you go out and look for a computer or a laptop, or you assemble one, be it for your personal use, gaming, and whatever, right? The three things what you look is, yes, storage, perfect, RAM, yes, so that is the compute power, and some of the networking, right? How well it catches the net and transmits the data, and so on, right? Overall the performance. So consider I'm going to get a gaming PC now. Yes, even the cost as well. Okay. So I'm going to get a gaming PC. So I probably need, be it the latest configuration i7, and somewhere with a good graphic card of 1 GB, and a good storage though. Yeah. I go and get these things, and it'll cost me probably around lakh. Okay. So this is going to cost me around a lakh. Things are working well. I'm playing very good games in this. Yeah. After some days, after 6 7 months, things get outdated. Yeah. So probably I'm not that happy with my system. I'm And some other game release in the market, and that requires the graphic card of 2 GB. Okay, and the storage space of probably 1 or 2 TB more. In this case, what are you going to do? Comments. So if I want to upgrade my PC, what are we going to do? Mm, okay. So please ping in your answers. In the meanwhile, if I was there, what? Not now. At least during my college days, we had this concept of PC assembling. I think I'm sure you have it now also. Okay. Yes, virtual RAM or extend the RAM. Yes, assembling PC. I'll go ahead and get a additional RAM. Okay, solves my requirement. Additional RAM is equal to additional cost, right? Then yes, hard disk change. Yes, perfect. But again, the cost is associated with, right? Excuse me. um. Okay, you guys ping that. Okay, you get the hard disk change and so on, right? Increase the RAM, but here somewhere the cost is associated with it, right? And consider after some days my priorities will change. Okay, so I'm no more into gaming. I spent probably 3 lakhs worth of my system now, and is it really worth it? I change my priorities now, right? It's not a good solution. So that's when the cloud computing comes into picture. So what you ask, so you ask the cloud provider, be it any provider. Okay, so you go and ask them, okay boss, give me a system. I need this specification. So this RAM, the storage, this computing, and this networking capabilities, and with this graphic card. Okay, he gives me variety of options, and uh, I'll go for a one of them, which costs probably 30,000 for a year, right? A cheaper option. I want to upgrade it, I go and get it upgraded. I want to downgrade it. So consider, as I told, one of the scenarios where I no more use the uh, gaming. In that case, I downgrade it. Here, I'm actually not investing on a hardware, right? I just go and get something on a online. So that's where your cloud company comes into picture. Yep. So this is how I define the cloud computing. So what is a cloud? In a very layman term, what I can tell is cloud is nothing but someone else's computer. And this makes a very generic term or very easy to understand things, right? So ideally, you are using someone else's computer, right? So that's what the cloud is. So any doubts till now? Please let me know. Okay. So this is the shared responsibility model where the responsibilities is shared between all. So I'll just come back to this once we explain what is SAS, IAS, and PAS. Yeah. So we'll park this for a while. Excuse me. Yep. So as I told you, the cloud, right? So there are three types of cloud. Okay. There's private cloud, public cloud, and the hybrid cloud. Okay. So what is private cloud? So private cloud is basically I am using a private cloud. It means that only I am able to access the things. Okay. Um, it means that okay, probably if in your colleges, okay, you have a server room, right? Your lab is there, and you do have a server room. Okay. So this is where the private cloud comes into picture. It means that if the server room, the servers or the IPs are exposed to someone else, okay, I am using your college's network. It means that your college is acting as a cloud provider for me. Yep. So this is what the private cloud is. Yep. Excuse me for a while. Yeah, sorry. Bad throat. Yeah, so private cloud is basically someone using in a private system, right? A banks, the best example is they are very secure, right? They don't want to expose their data or anything. So in this sense, they go and opt for a private cloud options, or consider a US based company where ideally you might have heard from your friends or cousins or whoever it is, right? US data is quite secure. It means that the data from the US should not go outside. So here where GDPR terms comes into picture. So some of the US guys or UK guys, Europe guys are very specific about this data. So in this terms, they go and use the private cloud. So organization is responsible for operating the services they provide. Yeah. So every services is given by the organization. Yeah. So here does not provide the access to the user outside the organization. So I'm a part of the company, only I can access this cloud. So that's where the private cloud comes into picture. Yep. So the next one is the public cloud. Yeah. So public cloud is nothing but owned by the cloud or hosting provider. Yeah, it means that Microsoft, Alibaba, Amazon, Google, you might have heard all these three, right? When I come to Microsoft, it's Azure, and when I come to Google, it's GCP, and when I come to Amazon, it's AWS, and you do have your Alibaba cloud, right? So these are nothing but these provide some additional capabilities to the developers also to host their system, also expand the things. So this is when the data is kept inside the Azure premises or whatever the cloud provider is there in their premises, right? So here you don't have to manage anything, right? So everything is managed by them. So they give you services, you use them. So that's it. That's the concept of public cloud, right? They give you offering, you use it. Yeah. But in case of private cloud, what you need to do, you need to go. So I've been working with this private cloud called Hetzner for probably 2 months now. So what they do is they don't have anything. So they just give me a virtual machine. Okay. So everything I need to put, be it the Kubernetes, be it the Docker, everything I need to host there. So it's how tough it is, right? So uh, it's like they don't provide any offerings at least. They just give me a VM. Okay, VM with whatever space you want, you take it. Okay, you have my space, but the offerings are zero. Be it the security systems is zero, be it the network IP, anything is zero. Okay, so all everything I need to go to open source, search for the better option, install it, deploy it there, automate it there. So yes, security wise it's good, but workload wise it's quite more, because you ideally have to do some research, do some stuff, go ahead and deploy the things. So that's how the tough private cloud is. But yes, both has its own pros and cons. So it's up to the business requirement on which to go. So currently the project or the client which I'm working on is bit reluctant on Azure. He doesn't want to keep the data on the Azure because of the GDPR terms and also some of the services and so on. So they went with the private cloud approach. It has its own cons, we are struggling, but yes, you get to know a lot of open source technologies when you go for private cloud. Yep. Again, so don't just keep in being the assumption that cloud means just storing your data. No, that's not the case. Cloud provides each and every services. So in terms of public cloud, you name a service, right? So you name a service, probably a networking service, a deployment service like a Kubernetes, Docker image, and so on. The provider has it. So Azure has its own every stuff, right? For storing my secrets and certificates and so on. So Azure adds key vault. So these are the advantages and disadvantages, right? So hybrid cloud. So as I told you, private cloud just gives me a VM. Public cloud gives me all the services. I want to integrate this. In this sense, I'll go ahead and use the hybrid cloud. It probably take a service, deploy it here. Take a service, deploy it here. So don't go for open service. You already have something deployed somewhere. Just take that deployment, use it in the private cloud. So that the combination of public and private cloud making you a hybrid cloud, right? So three types of cloud basically. Whenever someone asks you what are the types of cloud, you should be able to tell the difference at least. at least able to some you should be able to link to some of the real use case scenarios, right? Especially in the banking systems where they don't want to expose the data anywhere, right? So in this case, private cloud is the best options. Yep. So any doubt till here? Okay, you should be active over here. Okay, so I think Lakshit has planned some points also, who is more active over here. So uh, be active on the comments also. We can get to know where are we at least lagging, or what are your questions, so that we can focus on that particular thing. Yep. Okay. So thinking that we have addressed the three types of cloud, let's see what next. Yeah. Okay. I have just made this is the just comparison of three types of cloud over here. Public cloud, no capital expenditures to scale out. Okay, so what is the capital expenditure? And okay, so I think you might be hearing this word, right? So here you can see something called the capital expenditures, right? So let's see what is this, but for now let's just take with this terminology of uh, what is that, the no capital expenditures to scale up. So what is the scaling actually? Can anyone tell me what is scaling? So consider, as I told you, right, upgrading or downgrading the system. I don't, I use a better PC, I need a better PC, I go for upgrading the system. So that's nothing but a scaling up. So whenever our resources are in short, I add some more resources to it. So that's nothing but scaling up. Yeah. Applications can be quickly provisioned and deprovisioned. Again, I'm not into gaming, I need to downgrade my PC, I'll go and deprovision the stuff. Yeah. Organization pay only for what they use. So currently, if I go with the private cloud approach, I take a VM and I take all the licensing of the open source, because I am deploying my stuff into production, right? I need to pay for all the licenses now. So I use hundreds of services, I go for hundreds of licenses. Now I'm not using it, but still I need to pay for it, right? A loss for you. So, but in public cloud solves that problem where organization only pay for what they use. So consider organization, as an organization, I am using something called a caching service. So just some of the one of the service to cache the things. You have your in-memory cache, right? Similarly, there is something called a Redis cache. Yeah. So in open source, if I go and I buy some storage for 260 56 GB for a Redis cache, yeah. So now I pay probably 256 in private cloud. But in Azure, I just take what whenever it's used, I just go and get the license. That's it. Yeah. So this is better option where you just pay for what you use. Okay. Next, the private cloud. As I told you, first point here, right? Hardware must pay for the startup and maintenance. So here, what is there? Your capital cost is there, also your operational cost is there, right? So startup, you need to invest it, right? And the maintenance, right? So capital also is there and the operation is also there. Yeah. Organizations have complete control over resource and security. Yes, this is a plus point. That's why people just go with the private cloud approach. Why? It's in their hand. What they want, they will keep it. What they want, they will expose it. Or they don't want, they'll not expose it, right? They have the complete control. Yeah. Again, organizations are responsible for hardware and maintenance update. Yes, because they are owning it, they should have a hardware and maintenance. Okay. So now, hybrid cloud, it provides the most flexibility because it's a combination of both, right? You can scale it up, also you can scale it down, also it's in your network, right? So organization determine where to run their application. So I have three applications where one of the applications can be exposed to public. In this sense, I'll go and expose this in public cloud, but two other applications are quite private to my organization, then I go and use a public cloud, a private cloud. Yeah. Organization, so advantages of both are into the hybrid cloud. Yeah. Organization control security, compliance, or legal requirements. So everything is compared by this, but also the services of private cloud and the public cloud are used here. Yep. So let's go to next verse. Yeah. So there is something for, we have heard, right, capital cost and operational cost and so on. So nothing but capital expenditure versus operational expenditure. Okay, so what is the capital expenditure? um so you go I go and get a computer, right? So now I go and get a computer of probably 3 GB RAM, or sorry, not 3 GB, 32 GB RAM, and i7, and I spent 3 lakhs. So this is my capital costs. Okay, so where I spend on the infrastructure, physical infrastructure. Okay, now after 1 year, if I want to sell my laptop, probably it'll go to uh, 2 lakhs and less than that also. So it reduced, right? It's basically your loss on the investment. Now the same uh, laptop I have, and what I do, I just go ahead and upgrade it. I need to maintain it. Okay, I need to install the antiviruses and all the extra necessary things, and gaming licenses and virtual OS licenses and anything, right? So here what will happen, I'm spending anything for the operation or the maintenance or any of the services what I need. So this is known as operational expenditure. Okay, so it's generally I get it. So like probably I go for it and pay for it and get it. Yeah, so this is nothing but the operational expenses. Yeah, so this is operational expenditure, and here you don't have a upfront cost. It's like a payoff use. So today I need a license, I'll go and get a license, so that's I paid for it and I used it. Yeah, so this is nothing but opex. So generally if you get any questions on capex versus opex, so just remember this, that capex is nothing but initial investment what you put on the any service. Yeah, operational in opex is nothing but operational cost incurred on that service. Yeah, so this is the difference between capex and opex. Now coming back to this, so here you see in public cloud, so let's focus much on the public cloud. Okay, so here if you see, no capital expenditures to scale up. It means that I'm not buying any physical infrastructure, right? I'm just going and getting something virtual. So I'm not ideally putting any capital infrastructure, capital expenditure over there. It's all what I'm doing is OPEX, because organization pay only for what they use, right? So this is nothing but the OPEX. Yep. So here I hope you get a good differentiation between the capex and opex. Yeah. So anything till here you have doubt, just park your questions and I'll just see. Yeah, again. Yeah. So what is this consumption based model? So consumption based model is basically okay. So if I just go with your uh, probably internet, mobile, what, how good it would be or how bad it would be if you just pay for what data you had used, right? So currently what you do is you pay upfront for a month, right? I need 2 GB of data per day for 30 more days, and I pay 300 for it. But wouldn't it be good if I just pay for how much data I use, sort of a postpaid model, where I use some data, what based I have used, I pay it at the month end, right? So this is nothing but the consumption based model, right? End users only pay for the resources what they have used, right? So here you can see end users only pay for the resources they have used. Okay, better cost prediction, because you know, right, what cost what you have used. Like probably I used let me just not go into the service concept, so let me just use some 30 GB of RAM or 30 GB of compute power and 100 GB of storage for this, and I'm just charged for this. Or would it be better, at the starting of the month I would pay 20,000 and you can use up to 50 GB of RAM and 500 GB of storage? Which would be good? Obviously this would be good, right? Because yes, if your usage is more, then this is a better option. But you never know the usage, then this is the much better option, because you can predict how much ever you want. Yeah. Sorry. Yep. And here, better prices for individuals resources and services are provided. So like, I use only one resource, probably a Kubernetes service, and the price only for that I need to pay. Or I just go and use a VM, only for that VM I need to pay, right? So it would be much better if in this sense, right? So that's how the consumption based model works, right? So billing is based on the actual usage, right? Whatever use you pay for it, right? So here also, no upfront cost, no need to purchase and manage, no cost. Yeah. No purchasing and managing, no managing and purchasing. Yeah. If you want any additional stuff, you can do it, additional resources, buy it and pay it. Yeah. If you don't want something, just stop the billing. So this is the advantages of consumption based model, and our cloud provider, that is the Azure, is go with this approach. Also you can call it as pay as you go service. So as soon as you go, use it, like it, use it more and pay for it. That's it. So that's called as pay as you go model. Yep. All good. Yep. So we'll go for the next one, the benefits of the cloud. Yep. So okay. Here probably you can see some of the objective domain over here. I mean, just some of the terminologies: high availability, scalability, okay, reliability, predictability, security and governance, and the manageability. So let's see one by one what are these. Yeah. Okay. High availability, right? First thing, let's see high availability. So let me just go back for some time, and I just started to talk about private cloud or on-premises cloud. So consider in your college server room, and that server acts as my VM. I'm using that VM. Okay. So now what happens? Um, Consider this particular private cloud. I'm using it. Um, the system goes down, and probably my bank, like Dilip Pai Bank, has 100 branches around India, and my data center goes down. No customers can access it, right? So this system is less available. So it's not available for probably 3 hours, and 3 hours of downtime. So customers will queue up, they will scold me, right? Not available enough. But public cloud solves this approach by various techniques that I'll explain you later, right? So here what it does, it cloud has its data center multiple places. Okay, so if one fails, other will be active. The primary fails, secondary will be active. So that's where the availability is stored. Yeah. Elasticity. So what is elasticity? Extend it like this. Okay. And whenever you don't want, compress it like this, right? So this is nothing but elasticity. So whenever you want to increase the power of this uh, resources, extend it, pull it back. Whenever you do want it, compress it. So that's where the elasticity comes in. So consider a RAM, 1 GB of RAM. You're not required. I mean, you need more. You add to, I mean, you increase the power to 10 GB RAM, right? So this is known as elasticity. Yeah. And next, the scalability. So consider, I can tell you in this way. Uh, I think last month we had India Pakistan match, right? T20 World Cup. So if my this system was a cloud provider, okay. So if my this system was a cloud provider, and um, it is probably 16 GB, okay. And now what will happen? It's a good cloud provider. It's a 16 GB, and I run Hotstar India Pakistan match. So 16 GB system can suffice probably 200 people, right? 200 people can easily watch this match. Probably some random Bangladesh versus Zimbabwe test match. People are watching, it's working. But when I'm going and operating India Pakistan match. I'm like screening the India Pakistan match. It'll be probably around 2 CR plus, right? And do you think my 16 GB system will be able to handle it? No. Okay, so 16 GB system will never be able to handle it. Yeah, so what I need to do, I need to add 100 more system of 16 GBs. So either make it to 32 GB and maximum will be 64 GB here if I go with the LSJCT approach, right? It will, but 64 GB also will not be able to handle 2CR. So what I'll do, I'll add multiple 64 GB system, like 100 systems I'll add, and the load will be divided accordingly, right? So this is known as scalable. Scale up whenever you want, scale down whenever you don't want. Okay, whenever the match is done, I'll just decommission all the system and keep only this system. I'll scale down this also, and I'll keep only this system, and I'll make back to 16 GB. Yeah, so um so this is where the scalability comes into picture. Yeah, so next is reliability. So reliability is nothing but higher the availability, better the reliability. You can trust on the system. How better trust you can keep on the system, that's where the system is reliable. Yeah. uh, so consider, let me just give in this example. You are going in XUV 700, yeah, ADAS system. Yeah, so ADAS system is there. When you switch it on, it should activate. That's availability. Okay, so that's availability. Okay, when you switch it on, it should activate the ADAS. So I think I'm sure that most of you guys have known about ADAS. It's nothing but controls the lanes and sort of the auto driving stuff. Okay, so when you switch the button on, it should be available for you. Okay, so that's availability. What's reliability? Whenever the obstacle comes, it should slow down or change the tracks. That's reliability. Okay, so that's where reliability comes into picture. Similarly, in cloud, it should perform as expected at least 99.99% of the time. Okay, so that's reliability. Predictability, it should be able to predict probable losses, probable um, slowdowns, and so on. Okay, so that's probability. Predictability and security, yes, it should be secure enough so that other people can't access your data. That's where the cloud provider comes into picture, right? He should be able to give this, else there's no point of cloud. He should be able to give us good security enough. It should be hack proof and so on, right? All sort of attacking system, it should sustain, the system should sustain. So that's security. Governance, a good governance. So what governance? Someone who runs the system, right? There should be some sort of policies and so on. And manageability, so these both are again linked, how this is managed and governed. Yeah, so these are all these combined is given by any cloud provider, be it the Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and so on, right? Any public provider, this gives the benefits. So that's when the benefits of the cloud comes into picture. Yep. So let's see some let's move on to our next topic. Yeah. So cloud services, we saw the types of cloud, right? And now we'll see different types of cloud services. Okay. Okay. So infrastructure as a service. Okay. So infrastructure. So before this, I'll just show you one of the slides, and I'll probably we can get to know this better. Okay. Um, I'm just searching for one of the things. Okay. Uh, where is it? Yep. Okay. So here I'm sure that everyone loves pizza. Okay. So let me just compare. So there are three types of cloud services. Okay, infrastructure and as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Also on premises. Okay, so let me, I mean, you might get confused, right? What is this and how the things and so on. Okay, so basically system is made of compute, storage and network. These three are the major stuffs in the cloud provider, yeah, in the cloud. So some things provided by the cloud provider, and some things are bought by you. This is how the cloud is differentiated. Okay, um, so this is how the cloud provider should be differentiated, and there are three types of things. Okay, so but people get confused, right? What is this, what he gets and so on. So let's just get to know this in a better example, that is the pizza as a service. Okay, so pizza as a service, first is the on premises. It's as good as you preparing pizza in home right from the scratch, right? You have a dining table, good dining table. You have a good can of beer or coke, whatever, a good soft drink. Yeah, you have the gas. Okay, you have the oven to bake the pizza. For gas you need a fire. You have the raw materials for the pizza dough. You have the tomato sauce, toppings and cheese, right? You combine this, you make the dough, you bake it, I mean you heat it, whatever you do it right from the scratch in home. So that's nothing but on prem. Yeah, so here you have the complete control of the things, correct? But for one pizza you need to buy items worth 200, 300, and that's definitely not worth it though, right? So that's when infrastructure as a service comes into picture. It's sort of going to a supermarket, getting the pizza dough, getting the toppings, getting the cheese, coming in home, gathering it, spreading over it, and keeping it in oven. So that's nothing but infrastructure as service. So you have the control. You have control on which toppings to get, what kind of cheese to put, and so on. You just come, you just heat the pizza. So here, but the problem again here is you don't get that flavor at times. Only one, again you need to invest more. So you need to have multiple sorts of pizza, you need to get multiple cheese flavors and multiple toppings and so on. Okay, so here again you have a problem. To address this, what problem, what you do, you go to Domino's. Yeah, so you go to Domino's, and again there you just call him up and tell, okay boss, I need one tomato pizza, one veg singles, one cheese, one onion, and five types of pizza in 500 rupees, you get it, right? So that's something, so almost sort of platform as a service, where you get pizza delivered to your home. Okay, next comes the software as a service. Yeah, software as a service is like dine out. You just go to Domino's outlet, you sit there, you enjoy the food and come back, right? So these are the different types of services available in cloud. Okay, so in the better example for software as a service, I can give you as consider Google Cloud. You have every features are given there. I mean Google Photos or Google One or whatever storages are everything. You just need to upload your data and take the flavor out of it. So that's software as a service. Okay, now let's just come back to our PPTs and see what are the things here. So here you just pay for the IT infrastructure by renting the servers. Yeah, servers is managed by you. Okay, and sort of probably this thing is managed by the cloud. So you don't have to manage the data center and the storage stuff. You just need to establish a connection over here. Okay, so you need to get the OS and licensing, DBs and so on, the runtimes licensing and everything. So over here you need to get it. The data center networking and server storage, these things are managed by the cloud provider. So these things you get it. Okay, so OS, because OS is also a licensable, right? So original Windows cost comes with the cost, and in production you can't put some hacked window and duplicate key and all. Okay, DB, the database, you need to manage it. So the advantage here is you have the control of everything, right? You have the control of at least OS, DB, what's your data is and so on. But again the disadvantage here is the manual work, right? So you need to manage the OS license, you need to manage the DB, you need to release the patches. Again, someone is using the VM, you need to release the patches and so on, right? Patches like I need to update my system, but there are hundreds of system in my office. So I can't go to each end system and go and keep update. So what I'll do, I'll leave a patch, so that will update every 100 systems in my office. Similarly in IAS, you need to do that. It's a overhead on you. Okay, addressing this came pass. Okay, so platform as a service is basically in the this here, it's managed here according with the pass. Even the operating system, the development tools are also managed. You just need to go with your application, host your application, and give your data to it. Rest everything is managed. So patching and everything is managed. So behind the scene, you are given one VM, but everything is managed by this cloud. You just need to deploy your code to this VM. That's it. Okay. uh, so this is the past. Here the advantages, it's more developer friendly. So it's like a developer guy can be an infrastructure guy, and he need not focus much on an infrastructure. He just need to focus on the development, writing of the code, focusing more on the logic, optimizing the code. Rest everything will be taken care by the provider. Yeah. So this is pass. And this is software as a service. Everything is given by him. Okay, you just give him data. Examples like O365, email, calendars, and I can write even Gmail is one of the SaaS, G photos are one of the SaaS, and so on. Yep. So these are the differences between IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Yeah. So let's see over here. Yeah. Most flexible cloud. You configure and manage the hardware for your application, focus on the application development. Or in the past, yeah, platform manage, handled by the cloud provider. So basically, as I told, I mentioned every point right there. um, it's depending on who manages the stuff and how he manages it. Okay, so that's how the things are divided. So now just get back to one of the slides. At the beginning we saw here, right? So shared responsibility model, so it's like a sort of a model where how the responsibility is divided between the people. Yeah. So let's say the responsibility of information and data. Okay, so here everything is managed by the customer itself, be it SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, or on-prem. Everything is managed by the customer himself. Okay. Devices, you choose which devices to be hosted, like mobiles or PCs. This is again managed by the customer. Yeah. Accounts and identities, this is also managed by the customer. Like you choose who can access this, you choose who can't access this. This is managed by the customer again. Yeah. If you see on premises, everything is managed by the customer. Next, identity and directory infrastructure, right? In SaaS and PaaS, if you see, it is shared model, so you can get your users. Also the platform is provided by the Microsoft, like Azure provides the AD, right? But in IaaS, you can get your own set of users, you can create your own active directory and stuff. Okay, so in IaaS and on premises, the application in SaaS, everything is managed by the Microsoft. Here, shared by both applications, IaaS and on-prem. Again, probably only customer gets it. Okay, what sort of application? So consider I am deploying a Java application. So to deploy a Java application, first you need a framework, right? And that framework needs to be installed. So in PaaS, if you see, he gives me a system with framework installed. I just need to put my program in it. So that's it. Network controls, the VPNs and stuff. So here again it's shared. Here it's brought by the customer. The operating system, again here it's given by the Microsoft. Here bought by the customer. The host, physical servers, right? Bought here given by the Microsoft, bought by the customer in on premises. Networks, right? If you see here in on premises, everything is given by the cloud provider itself. Sorry, by the customer itself, right? So this is the shared responsibility model. So now we saw everything, right? At least with the introduction of the cloud concept. So we never entered to Azure, right? So we'll be entering it into the next class, because we have 5 classes scheduled for here. And just don't want to burden too much for the day. Yeah, but I have a question for you guys. Okay, so the question is, um I have on-prem. Yeah, I have on-prem. So let me just type over here. Okay, I have on-prem. Okay, and I have private cloud. What is the difference between on-prem and private cloud? Can anyone type in the answers? No answers. Okay, I'm waiting for a couple of minutes. So let's see if anyone has answers to it. Okay, so any difference what you feel between on-prem and mm, so Ananya has replied that I don't have to manage everything in private cloud. No, that's not the case. You need to manage everything in private cloud. So they give a VM, you need to do everything. Yeah. So anyone has any difference? Let me know. I'm just waiting. So in my definition, what I can see is for a difference between on-prem and private cloud. Um, yes, so Rakshit is sort of right. On-prem is a local environment. Perfect. Uh, so consider um, I am a bank, okay, and my bank has only one branch. Okay, what I do, I just create a on-prem server, on-premises everything, and that server is accessible only for that particular area or that particular branch. Then it becomes sort of on-prem. Okay, but in cloud, private cloud, if I expose this particular IP, or if I expose this VM to access by all, then it becomes a private cloud. Private cloud hosted by that bank, it can be accessed by hundreds of branch um, in all over India. So this is a sort of difference between on-prem and private cloud. Again, it's just a VM. Okay, it's just a computer where you need to put stuff, expose it. Yep, so that's where the private cloud stands out. Yep, so that's it for today, and tomorrow we'll be seeing some of the services. Tomorrow is going to be big day. I just didn't want to burden you guys at the start itself with the too much of lectures. And so tomorrow we'll be looking on to some of the good services what Azure provides. Yeah, so tomorrow we have, it's going to be big day. So yeah, let's catch up tomorrow then.
Yeah, sure. So thank you, sir. Thank you for joining in. And guys, I hope you learned something today about the Azure and cloud computing. So sir has given you a quick overview about how the on-premises and the private clouds, all these clouds work. So today, tomorrow is going to be a hands-on part. So it's gonna be you will be getting the real insights. So we'll be sharing. So some of them has expect. So we have got some mails regarding some the slides. So could you please share those slides so that
Yeah,
I can share those slides with these
I'll
folks so that they can just revise the concepts.
Yep, I'll do that. So I'll share
Yeah,
it. I have a zip. So probably after our, okay, I can zip it and share it to you now. I'll share it with you, Lakshit. Then.
perfect. So
Yeah.
I hope you heard that right. I hope you heard that, guys. So we will be sharing these slides so to your mail. So keep looking at your mail and revise those concepts. And in case you feel any doubt, any query, feel free to drop your doubts tomorrow. And yeah, so let's have fun, guys. So happy learning, guys. Thank you for joining in, and thank you, sir, giving your precious time for these folks.
Yep.
And thank you, sir. See you tomorrow, guys. Thank you.
Yep. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye bye. Good day.